So much has been said and written about the Matrix. I want to add to that conversation. There's a moment early in the movie where Neo is at his desk at work. So you remember it, there's the cubicle and the fluorescent light and the computer screen. And he's not Neo yet. He's Thomas Anderson, software programmer. He's always late. He's already on his boss's bad side. He has a schedule, a routine, responsibilities. He's barely functional, and he is completely, quietly miserable. And something keeps nagging at him, something he can't name. There's a feeling that the life he's living, the perfectly ordinary, perfectly scheduled life, isn't his whole story. Can you identify it all? Where there's something calling or something nagging, or there's something that leaves you feeling like you're not fully satisfied with how things are? That's where Neo is. He knows that something's wrong with the world and he just can't see it. That's the setup of the movie. And it's not just a sci-fi premise. It's a description of something a lot of us know. The whole movie really has to do with waking up, with refusing to keep sleepwalking, with refusing to continue dying with a little patience. So what I want to do is look at Neo and at this condition through a theoretical concept that I like a lot. The idea comes from the Greek terms for concepts of time. The terms are Kairos and Chronos. I'm going to get a little academic here, but not too bad. And I'll come back and try to make it applicable in just a minute. But here's the basic idea. Ancient authors in Greece, so mythological authors, biblical authors, and others, they used these two words, Kairos and Chronos, for different concepts of time. Chronos, time, emphasized the mundane, everyday world that we live sequentially. It's just when we're going about our duties and responsibilities as we go through our day's business. All right? That's Chronos. That's the Chronos time. So the mythic images for Chronos would be the clock, the calendar, the scale, the to-do list, all the stuff that embodies the expectations of our structured and measurable world. Okay, that's Chronos. Kairos, on the other hand, it's less about minutes and more about the moments that we live. The moments when our everyday Chronos time gets interrupted by something important, by transcendence and significance. Instead of the clock time of Chronos, Kairos takes place when a person feels a call or an urge, or understands a novel truth, or makes a big decision, or experiences a transformation, or something like that. Okay? Chronos, everyday. Kairos is when something breaks into the everyday. Okay? So go back to your high school geometry. If you can just picture that, imagine an x-axis going horizontally and a y-axis going up and down vertically. The x-axis is Chronos. Okay? And it's the horizontal line, side to side, and it's like our surface level existence. It's where we sleep and eat and research and listen to Prince and talk with friends and whatever. The y-axis is going up and down. It's vertical, and it's the Kairos axis. And if the Chronos x-axis is the everyday conventional world that we've always known, Kairos is when the y-axis intersects it. When it moves us either higher or deeper. Or both sometimes. Okay, so that's basically the idea. The vertical breaks in and dares us to enter a different way of thinking. Maybe just momentarily, where we comprehend that there's more than just the surface level world that we inhabit. Kairos breaks in momentarily and asks us to see things in a different way, to question what we've always accepted. Okay, now, when that y-axis breaks into the x, that's when we want to pay attention if we want to experience meaning and significance in our lives. Okay, in stories, that's where Eve bites the apple. That's where Plato and in Plato the cave dweller walks into the sunlight. And it's when Neo chooses the red pill over the blue. Okay, now let me just be clear about something. Be clear about one thing. We need more than just the everyday. That's what I'm saying. The horizontal is important. The surface level stuff, we need that, and we can't live anywhere else anyway. So it's not that it's a bad thing, it's just that it's not enough. If we try to live there, it's going to leave us hungry. It's going to leave us on the surface. Okay? So let's go back to the movie now. In the film, Kairos announces itself as a white rabbit. You'll remember that. The words appear on Neo's computer screen out of nowhere, follow the white rabbit. And he doesn't know what that means. Then somebody knocks on the door, and there it is tattooed on a woman's shoulder. So he follows them into the night, and he ends up sitting across from Morpheus. And Morpheus says, "You have felt it your whole life. There's something wrong with the world. Kairos has entered the picture." Now, Morpheus doesn't give Neo a plan. There's not like a to-do list, and he doesn't say, okay, here's what we're going to do, X, Y, Z. He just offers him a choice. He says, do you want to acknowledge Kairos, or do you want to stay in this mundane world that you've been living in? Red pill, blue pill. Blue pill keeps you in Chronos, back to the cubicle, back to the schedule, back to the surface. The red pill, there's Kairos. Not necessarily a complete life overhaul. Well, for him it was. For lots of us, it's not. And it doesn't offer a guarantee, but there's an acknowledgement that something's there. Now, most of our kairotic moments don't look like that. Most of us don't have a Morpheus in our lives. Every now and then somebody may show up and there may be a lightning bolt of some sort. Most of us, nope, no Morpheus, no pills, no leather trench coat. But the structure, it's the same dang thing. Something interrupts the schedule. A question keeps returning. There's a dissatisfaction that keeps nudging. Or something you hear lands with you and it just won't let go. And here's what we will often do. Lots of times we just go back to that blue pill. Not because we're cowardly, but because Chronos demands it. The surface level is always calling to us. The inbox is full. The calendar is packed. The responsibilities are real. And Kairos, when it comes, it doesn't typically shout. It's just there, repeating quietly until we either listen or, tragically, we stop hearing it altogether. Well, Neo almost decides not to listen. He almost ignores the white rabbit. He almost stays in the apartment. He almost keeps pretending he doesn't feel what he feels, dying with a little patience. Well, the thing is, though, eventually he does stop sleepwalking. Not all at once and not without cost. It's not easy to wake up. But because something inside him knew that the surface wasn't enough, it made him willing at one particular moment to answer honestly. So let me turn now, in the last couple minutes here, let's get practical. And I want to talk about 4 steps you can take to welcome Kairos into your life and be more aware when it arrives. Okay, so if you just want to, so much of this is just being open to and aware of the possibility that something can interrupt the mundane and the everyday. And probably if you're listening to this, there's something in you that's already open to that. So here are 4 steps that apply here to this process. Number 1, reframe interruption as invitation. Okay, so when something seems to be screwing up what you're used to, what you have set up, if something's off, if something is off schedule, something seems inefficient or inconvenient, you're asked to do something and it's disruptive, well, maybe look at those interruptions as possibilities for meaning. So it could be something little where somebody asks you to do something you didn't want to do, but it could be bigger. It could be an illness or grief, falling in love, but some sort of clarity comes and there's a door that opens and you hadn't planned on walking through it. So number one, instead of viewing it as an interruption, view it as an invitation. Number two, pay attention to the moments that feel heavier than others, that just feel bigger. Kairos often announces itself through weight. Again, it doesn't have to be something enormous that shakes you to the core, but something that feels like it carries more gravity than the surface circumstances typically do. So something that you hear that just stays with you, or there's a decision and it doesn't seem like it should be that big a deal, but it feels charged, there's electricity there. Or there's this question that keeps returning, why didn't I do that? Or when I was younger, I always wanted to, but I didn't, and therefore, that kind of thing. Number three, listen for repetition rather than urgency. There may be some urgency to it. More likely, Kairos is not going to be frantic. It's not going to shout. It's just going to repeat. Like I was saying, the same thought keeps coming back. The same longing or question resurfaces. Or that dissatisfaction nudges you again and again. And finally, number four, when you do notice something, when something does get your attention, just respond with a small act of courage. Doesn't have to be a total life overhaul. That's scary if you start going that direction, but if you'll take one step. One of the reasons that we miss Kairos is that we assume it demands everything all at once. Like we got to quit a job or change everything. We got to burn it all down. But usually it doesn't. Often Kairos asks for something much smaller. Have a conversation. Set a boundary. Take a first step in one direction. Or simply refuse to keep pretending that you don't feel what you feel. You don't have to solve your whole life to respond to this moment of Kairos. The idea is just to answer it honestly. Thanks, y'all.